A black Republican, her name is Payton Jackson, had an epic moment when talking to Democrats about black folks and voting. It's gone completely viral. It's all over. So without further ado, here it is.
When I first announced my run for Congress, I had this random white woman, liberal, walk up to me and ask, well, what about you isn't Democrat? To which I responded, well, besides my skin color, what about me is Democrat? And it was at that very moment that she realized that God gave her enough common sense to ask me about my values. Now, don't get me wrong, I was raised to vote Democrat down the ballot, so when I first started, I would say things like, I'm a Republican, but I'm not a conservative. But now I know all too well I am a full-fledged, hardcore conservative, and I'm proud of it. I mean, my favorite saying is I was born black, not Democrat. But in all seriousness, whenever I began to think for myself politically, the choice was easy. I mean, why would I want to belong to a party whose mission is to infringe on the Second Amendment as if a criminal would ever participate in something like a mandatory buyback? Why would I want to belong to and endorse a godless party? Because there is no such thing, and I mean no such thing as a trans child. We have confused children and sick, enabling adults. Why would I want to belong to a party that takes pride in shedding innocent blood? Number one, as if that's not what God hates. Number two, as if there's not a black market for baby organs. And number three, as if abortion clinics didn't start in the hood. Because if you think Trump is bad, you should research exactly who Margaret Sanger was. But speaking of the black community, why would I want to belong to a party who's responsible for the foundation of the Triple K? But it's not just that. Supposedly in the 1900s, the party switched, right? But what never changed, what I noticed never changed, is Democrats' love for immigration and how they have always prioritized that over the black community. I mean, imagine every single Democrat leader helping you joke about what a black job is in 2024, exposing your ignorance on 1924 and how imperative the Immigration Act of that year was, how it was all reversed in 1965 with the Hart-Celler Act, how Congress refuses the advice of the Rockefeller Commission and the Hesburgh Commission, and how to this day they refuse to adopt the Barbara Jordan Blueprint, validating every single thing that Dr. Claude Anderson spoke of generally, but specifically what Mrs. King spoke of in 1991 with her letter to Congress. Now look, I'm not saying that the Republican Party is perfect. No, nobody's perfect. What I'm saying is I saw with Malcolm X when he said that the liberals were the worst thing that could ever happen to the Western Hemisphere, but y'all ignore that, just like how y'all ignore LBJ saying, and I quote, I'm going to have Negroes voting Democrat for the next 200 years, and by God, 60 years later, I see no sign of recourse, but rest assured your vote is your voice, even if it is a whisper.
Super awesome. She's fantastic. She reminds me of a young Candace Owens. Like when I first got into politics, maybe 8 years ago, I feel like that is the kind of stuff that Candace Owens was doing. Obviously now she's super anti-Semitic and, doesn't believe in the moon landing. But what she does, Payton Jackson, in that is so simple and so good. It's that she just asks one simple question that I think a lot of black folk are asking. What has the Democrat Party done for my community? And I think that's a very fair, I'm not one of those people that believes that politicians are going to solve your life. I think that's a horrible worldview. But I do think it's fair to hold a party accountable. And for anyone to just look, it doesn't have to necessarily be race. A lot of people, they live in communities and race tends to be the biggest factor around them. That's a thing that kind of links them together, but it could be religion or anything else. You should ask yourself, what has this party done for me? And if it's the Republican Party or the Democrat Party, I don't care. If they're not actually providing value to you, you should ditch them. No one's forcing you to do it. And again, for Payton Jackson, upon reviewing it, you see that not only has the Democrat Party done nothing for black people, but they've actually done a whole lot of awful, awful things. And Payton obviously is not the only one who sees this. I want to show you this graph. And it shows the trend of black folk voting for Republican versus Democrat over time for each election. It's really fascinating. For those listening, it says Republican minus Democrat vote margins for white, black, and Latino or Hispanic voters. We're just going to focus on that yellow bar, which is black. What you see is that it was steadily going better for Republicans, and then Obama happened, which was brutal for Republicans. What you see is a 91 margin towards black folk, or for Democrats rather, for black folk. And then steadily since then, slowly that kind of shroud, the Obama fame goes away, and you see every single election, it gets better for Republicans until now it's only a 73 point margin versus a 91. So an 18-point swing. And that's just one exit poll, by the way. There was another one, I think it was from CNN, that said 70% went Democrat in 2024 and 30% of black folk went Republican. And that's a huge shift. I mean, that, again, not a monolith anymore. 70% is still a large majority. I'm not saying that Republicans don't have a lot of work to do, but 30% voting for Republican is a massive group of people. And again, that's not taking into account the fact that there are other minorities involved. There's Hispanics who are almost split down the middle. And you can see that in that same graph, by the way. In that same graph, it shows Hispanics went for Obama by a margin of 44% in 2012. For Trump, it was 4% this last year, a 40-point swing. And then, of course, Native Americans, that was the big story of 2024, in my opinion, that no one's talked about, which is that Native Americans voted overwhelmingly for Trump. Most exit polls show that they voted more than 60% for Trump, and that is astounding. It's huge. The only way the Democrat Party has been able to stay afloat, if you look at the numbers, is with white, college-educated women. That is it. That's their target demographic right now. It makes sense if you look at the actual policies that they're pursuing. It would be the kind of thing that only a white educated lady would care. So the two best things that Republicans could do to win more elections if they're looking forward to 2026 or 2028 is send their daughters to private church schools and don't go, not UC Berkeley, don't take them there. Don't take them there to get radicalized and turn into this group. The other thing they can do, and I've said this from the very beginning, from the beginning of this channel and this show, is Republicans need to reach out to minorities, especially Hispanics. You see that 40-point shift? That's huge. And Trump has done an excellent job. He's done fantastic. The next Republican nominee has got to do the same. If you guys enjoy reading, I wanted to introduce you to my book, A New Cult. It's up on the bookshelf over there. I talk about how Chuck Schumer and the left have devolved into a cult, and they do some crazy, crazy stuff. I reveal some nuts stories. I know you'll enjoy reading it. I had a great time writing and researching it. The link is in the description below. Thank you so much for watching this video, everyone. Please like the video and subscribe to my channel so other great patriots like yourself can see this video. Thank you so much, and you can watch another video right here.